Yeah, good morning. Yeah, today we'll start with CSS, which is cascading style sheet. So we start with introduction to CSS. If you remember, our last topic was HTML, and we discussed about HTML, different tags, how it is used. So now we'll move on to CSS. So before we start, we have to create a new folder for CSS. You can also use our previous folder. Okay, so but let me just create a new folder for CSS. I just name it CSS web. Okay, so I go inside the folder and create photo, video, and all these things. So let me just come here and copy the folder here. So I just copy the folder here. Copy. Just close it. So I come here. So I just paste. Good. So now we'll be using another code editor. Before we use HTML code editor. So now we are using CSS Sublime Text. So I'll just open my Sublime Text. So this is my Sublime Text. This is my Sublime Text. Let me just cancel this. Cancel this. So Ctrl N to create new file. So let's save as. So we are creating our HTML file and CSS file here. So we first create our HTML file. Don't forget, you locate your new folder, which is CSS web. So now save the HTML index.html. Save. So open another file. Save it as CSS. Let's save it as style.css. I hope you can see the folder. The new folder is CSS web. Save. So now we'll be dealing with HTML and CSS. The first thing we do is just let's create the HTML environment. HTML. You can see the difference between CS and Sublime Text and Notepad++. So this is my HTML environment. Let me just name the title Cascading. So now the first thing we do after creating the HTML environment is to link our CSS and HTML together. We have to link it because we'll be working with both. So the tag for linking that is called linking tag. Link. So this is the tag. So let me explain the tag. You can see here, the tag is link tag. This is link. Then the rel means we are dealing with style sheet, meaning we want to style our HTML, and this type means the type of file we are dealing with. So we are dealing with text/CSS, and this href. This is where we are going to input the name of our CSS file. So the name is style.css. So now you save. So by doing this, you have successfully linked your HTML and CSS. So now the next thing we do is what? To start working. Okay. So now what we are going to do now is to start with how to create nav tag. using HTML and CSS. So let's start. First thing, we are going to introduce a new tag called div tag. It means division. Div tag. Div tag. We open it and close it back. So div tag, what it does is that it divides the page into different sections. If you want to create different sections in your web page, we are going to use div tag. So now this section is for what? Is for nav tag. It is for navigation section. So the first thing you will do while creating your div is that you have to classify it or identify it. So you can use the class. Okay, you can class it, you can name it any class. So let me just name it nav. So you are telling the div tag that this division is for navigation division only. Sure, you understand. So now by naming your div tag, you are given access to style your div tag in your CSS, because for you to style your div tag in your CSS, you are going to be using this class name to style it in CSS. Understand? So let me start. Let me save here. Now let me go back to my folder and check my file. CSS web. Okay, good. This is our index. Let me run it with Chrome and see what we have. Okay, let's just wait a moment. Okay, good. These are index.html file. You can see it's blank because we have no code for anything there. So now let's tag. You want to code for navigation tag, please. So go back to your code editor. So now within our div tag, the first div tag, which is nav tag, so we'll introduce a tag called on order list, because we are listing different sections in that nav tag. And don't forget, I've told you something about on order list. So now inside that on order list, you introduce new tag called list tag. What list this tag does? List tag. Open and close. What this list tag does is that it identify each different list of your section. Like this list is for, let's say this list is for home section, please. So just have to write home. You can see. So if I save this now and go to my web and refresh, you can see this home. So this list just lists out home. So now the next thing we do is what? So we want to have home, news, different section. So what else we do? We just copy before you copy it, you know the goals of navigation tag is what? Is to link different pages on your website. So that means you have to introduce our anchor tag, which will link this home tag to the page. Example now, if I click this home tag now, you should be able to clickable. So now this home tag is not clickable. So to fix that, you go back to your file and introduce anchor tag. Remember an anchor tag here, if you can remember it. Anchor tag. anchor tag. So if you can remember this anchor tag, I taught you in the HTML section. So within that anchor tag, you now introduce your what? The name of the section. So the section is home. If you save it now, you can see when we introduce the anchor tag, it gives us a room for to insert the name of the page we want to go. If we click this home, so let's just put it as empty now. If you go back to your browser, if you refresh, you can see I can click now. I can click. So that means it is clickable now. So what we do now is just copy it. Copy this section, please. To see, let's have like 4 or 5 sections. So we have our home, service, department, about us, contact us, contact us, contact us. So let's do this one to be blog. So you save this thing and go back to your browser. You see, you can see. So we now have different sections. We have section for home, section for service, section for department, section for about us, section for contact us, and blog. Now, the next thing we do is that to style this nav tag. Now, the first thing you do is that you have to make sure all this section is in vertical line. This is horizontal line. I want it in vertical line. So that is where your CSS comes in. Oh, sorry. That's where your CSS comes in. So now, we have classified our section here as nav. So you go to your CSS. The first thing you do is that to pick that class. So if you want to pick class in CSS, you first have this point, the name of the class, then open and close bracket. So within that open and close bracket, that is where you introduce your styles, different style you want it. So the first thing we want to do is that we want to remove this dot. So let's go back to our thing. Go back to your HTML. Now under nav tag we have UL, and inside that UL we list different sections. So what we are going to be doing now is that under class of nav we want to deal with on other list. We want to release the bullet. So what you do is that this is enough. So you now say that under the nav, go to UL. Then inside that, after you reach UL, perform this style. So CSS is very, very complex. So you can come across different styles, view of styling something. So let me start by removing those bullets. So we introduce an attribute called list style. So you just give this style none. When you save this thing and you save this code and come back to your browser and you refresh, you can see it. The bullet is gone now. They are all gone. So that's the beautiful work of CSS. You can style your CSS, your HTML using your CSS. what I did was that I pick this class and indicate what the UL tag under it. So now the next thing we want to do is what? Let's put this. Let's put this. Let's arrange this nav tag in what? In horizontal line. So now that's something CSS can do also. You go to your CSS style. Okay, what do you want to do? This is the list of what? The list of different sections. And don't forget, this list they are what? They are under UL. So that means you are still under UL. So you can see introduce another style, which is display. Give the display flex, and you save this code. You can see it's now in horizontal line. The work of this flex is that you want these displays to go in what? In flex direction. You have different display. You have block, grid, flex. You understand? So you want to display your work in a horizontal line, you have to use flex attribute. So now, since we have displayed this thing in horizontal line, the next thing we want is to remove this underline. Let's move this underline. So it's something CSS can do also. So to remove this underline now, you go back to our HTML and store our code. Okay, under the class nav, we have UL. Under UL, we have list. Under list, we have within the list tag, we have what? We have another tag which is anchor tag, which is tag A. So now we want to deal with our section here. So that means you have to pass through four barrier. You pass through nav, UL, LI, then A before you can reach home. You understand? But that's how you indicate it in your CSS also. So you create another command that go to nav, enter UL, enter LI, pick A, and in here you want what? You want to remove our underline. So you introduce another attribute, another style attribute. You call it text decoration. You want it to be none. You don't want to decorate the text at all. So you save this code, you go to your browser, you refresh, you can see the lines are now gone. Understand? Oh, the next thing to do is that, okay, let's give this section like let's put space between those sections. Like I can see they are all in one section, so in one side. So we want to space it to fill the whole screen. It's something CSS can do. Just go back to CSS. So just introduce what? Introduce margin left. Like so, you can just put. Let's start with 50 pixel. When you save this, and you can see something's about to change now. We are now having space between those sections. So let's increase the space. You can just give it 150. Let's come here. Now, yeah, you can see we have what? We now have the space between what? Between those section. So now the next thing to do is what? The next thing to do is let's give this nav tag a background. You want different colors. Okay, you can give it like yellow, blue, black, any color you want to give it. So you're able to differentiate between the main page. You go to your CSS back. Go to CSS back. You go to go to your HTML, study your code again. Okay, you want to apply background color to the whole list. So where will you make changes? You first pass to your nav class, then enter UL. That UL is the one that contains all the sections. So that means you have to give the UL section a background color to be able to apply to all the section. You go back to your CSS, locate your UL code, the code that apply to only UL section. So give it background color. Can give it, let's give it black, and you save this. Go back to it and refresh. Now you can see we now have black background color. So the next you want to do is that you want to give this nav to be able to have space within up and down. So what I have to do, we're going to introduce another style in your what? In your what? You go back to your what? Go back to your HTML, study the code. Okay, I want to apply changes to each section. So that means we're doing with what? With the tag A here. You have to pass to nav UL then A. And we already have that one here. What do? You can just apply padding top. Like you want a space at the top, you can put 10 pixel. Let's save this. Let's go back to our listing. Let's check. Okay, go back here. Okay, let's apply margin top. Save. Sometimes padding works, sometimes margin works. Okay, something is wrong with our code. Just go back. Okay, let's locate. Okay, what do we do? We go back to our what? We go back to our UL. Let's start and give it height. Let's start with padding first. I think padding will work. 15 left, right, 15 top and bottom. Wow, so you can see padding works here. So what we do is what? We go back to our what? We go back to our CSS code and locate UL that contains all the section. Then apply padding. Padding means like you want a space within the contents. So now the next one to do that, we want to change. You can change something else. So let's just change the color here. The color of all this section. Let's change it to white. Something you can do. Go back to your code. Come here. Since we are applying color to each section here, so we are doing with what? Anchor tag. So we can use this one, this tag, which is we enter nav, go to UL, enter UL, go to li, enter li there, go to anchor tag. Inside that anchor tag, then go and find each section. So color of each section is, let's give it white. You save this code and refresh. Wow, you can see our color have changed. So that's how you can build nav tag successfully using CSS and HTML. So that's all for today. We continue in our next class.